Those drawings you made. You really seen all those things yourself?
No, but...
This is the moment where I fell in love with Bridge to Terabithia and became a fan of AnnaSophia Robb. If you're not familiar with AnnaSophia Robb, she is a child actor who started in the 2000s and continued acting until now, actually. And you may ask, why am I covering her as a 23-year-old male? Why am I covering a female actress who is a child star? It seems very out of place, sort of. Well, the reason why I'm covering her is because I think she's very underrated. When it comes to most other child actors and actors in general, there's always a fandom. I mean, granted there is for her, but it's her work that she's done in her movies. I think no one really has talked about it or really acknowledged the work and dedication that she puts into every single role, and I'm here to talk about that and explain why she is a very talented actress who should have more recognition. But before we actually get into her career, I want to just start off with this basic misunderstanding a lot of people have involving her name, because you've probably seen her name in credits. And if you've been paying attention, I refer to her as AnnaSophia Robb, not AnnaSophia Robb, because a big surprise that her name is not pronounced AnnaSophia, it's AnnaSophia, like Anna from Frozen. To clarify, her name is AnnaSophia, and another thing, her middle name is not Sophia, her full name is AnnaSophia. Just to clarify, I don't know what her middle name is, but her full first name is AnnaSophia, and that's what I'm going to be referring to her as. Also, another thing, if this video goes viral, I'm sorry for the low production quality and bad microphone. That's just how I operate. So AnnaSophia Robb started her career unprofessionally, I should say, in the early 2000s, being in commercials. Now, from what I could find, I only find one commercial, which was a Captain Crunch commercial, which reportedly is her first commercial, but in an interview decades later, she said that her first commercial was a McDonald's commercial, so there's conflicting information on it, but all I could find was this Captain Crunch commercial from the early 2000s, and that's pretty standard for, I guess, most child actors to be in, so nothing really much to say on that. Now, the first thing in her filmography, and I'm putting quotation marks around this, is she actually appeared in Drake and Josh. Yeah, the Drake and Josh. She played Lisa, however you say it. And this episode premiered in September of 2004, and I'm saying the date because it's kind of important for that. And I'm only showing an image because I don't want Viacom to copyright this video or take it down. But she's mostly as a background character in the episode. She's basically a Girl Scout along with everyone else, and she has a couple of lines. Most of it is just reacting to stuff, so it's nothing that big, but it did get her in, I guess, well, actually no, it didn't technically get her into Hollywood. You see, this is a very technical thing because of production cycles, because the first thing chronologically is a movie, and this is her first debut in anything professionally, which is Samantha, an American Girl Holiday. Now, Samantha, an American Girl Holiday is a TV movie that premiered in November of 2004. Like I said, the reason why I talked about the Drake and Josh episode premiering in September is because technically this is our second appearance on film, but this is her first professional big role. Like, this was clearly filmed, like, in 2003, and I know that was filmed in 2003 because decades later she talked about professionally acting at the age of 9, and in 2003 she would have been 9. Now to get out of the way, what is Samantha, an American Girl Holiday? From the title it makes you think, oh, this is a girls movie, and yeah, it is, but it's not a girls movie, it's an older women's movie. Like, this is made for, like, my mom, basically. And you may say, oh, that's just unwatchable then for a 23-year-old male to watch, but surprisingly no. The reason why I was able to get through this movie, because I thought I was going to, like, stop midway through, but the only reason why I was able to get through this movie was because AnnaSophia Robb is such a great actress, and especially at the age of 9. She outperforms all the adult actors. I'm not even joking with that. She is so good in this movie that every scene that she's in and every conversation that involves her is so good. She outperforms all the adult actors and makes up for all the terrible acting that the rest of the child actors have, because all the child actors, I'm sorry, are abysmal. They're just terrible. And all the adult actors are half-assing because this is a TV movie. And so having AnnaSophia Robb play this very nice, kind, very hospitable young girl who just wants to do right in the world fits perfectly with her acting. And it's very clear that she is enjoying this, but also it's very smart that she is, giving 110% in this role, because this is her first movie role. This is her first thing professionally. So she needs to do a very good job in order to get to other positions, like other job positions. So it's very smart that she is out doing everyone. And because the first half of the movie, like I said, the adult actors are half-assing it, but midway through the movie, and this is something I noticed with also the child actors, because AnnaSophia Robb is such an anchor, and she's such a great actress in this, that the other child actors are not that bad midway through, because I think they're realizing, she's just that good. The other child actors become less bad, while the adult actors either step up their game or their egos are getting destroyed because a 9-year-old girl is absolutely outperforming them in every way possible, so they need to try to outperform her, which is kind of funny, because midway through, all of a sudden they sort of they don't actually half-ass it anymore, which is really funny. But this is a TV movie that is made for older women, yet I actually enjoyed it. AnnaSophia Robb really outperforms this, and it's the only reason why this movie is good at all, and why maybe I'll watch it again, because she's such a great actress in this. Because the next film that she's in is actually her first theatrical movie, and the movie is called Because of Winn-Dixie. Now, she plays the character of Opal, or Opal, I don't know how to say her name. Basically, the premise of this movie is the idea of a boy and his dog. Well, let's replace the boy with a girl. And that's basically what this movie is. And this movie is about a dog that she befriends and adopts, and this movie, I've only seen clips of it, because I've not actually seen the full thing, but from what I've heard, or from what other people have said, the movie's good. And AnnaSophia Robb is the best part of the movie from what I've seen, which is no surprise. She clearly stepped up her game with this, because her role is much more natural in this. And that's not to say that her role in Samantha is bad, like I said, it's not, but you take a really good performance and then you take it up even more. It's very clear that AnnaSophia Robb likes playing the more urban, not tomboy, but a step above tomboy. I don't know what it's called necessarily, but she likes playing those roles, I know. It's she's really well in that, because the way she acts in this movie is really cool, because like I said, she's more natural. She acts with this childlike wonder, but it's not distracting. It's very genuine, and she's really wholesome as well in this, which makes watching at least the scenes that I've watched much more enjoyable. Yeah, she's way more natural in this, and you're gonna see that later in her career how, playing these type of characters really is her specialty. Now, the next part of this video is going to be different, where I'm going to be sort of skipping movies that she's been in. And that's not to say that the movies that she was in are bad, it's just the next part of this video is going to be her most remembered roles, what most people actually remember. And the reason how I actually came to this conclusion is that through my research, I looked at the comments and stuff like that revolving AnnaSophia, and I found the 4 movies that she's most remembered for, the most titles of the movie I've seen. And I'm going to explain why in each one of these movies she just gets better and better as an actress. The first movie that you probably remember her from is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and she plays Violet. And yes, this movie came out in July of 2005, which is the same year as Because of Winn-Dixie, which came out in February. So she was in 2 movies in 2005, which pretty much elevated her career. And basically, the reason why people remember her is, you say not a good one, which is that she's very annoying in the movie, which from the scenes that I've watched, I have not seen Charlie and Chocolate Factory, or at least 2005 one, in a really long time, but from what I remember, the clips I've seen, it's not that bad. It's not that annoying, because something I know is that she doesn't overshine the main character of Charlie. She's a gimmick character, she's a side character, so essentially she can't overdo her performance, which is weird because, her taking on this role is weird because she was the main character in 2 movies. The main character in 2 movies. And so, being a side character in this, I guess the only why she chose it is because to show Hollywood that she can actually act and for more mainstream stuff, which clearly works out because she has more roles. And in this role, in Charlie and Chocolate Factory, she does a great job. And obviously, in the movie she does turn into a blueberry, which she plays off very well, which I kind of feel bad about, which is a very common theme with her movies. Something bad always happens to her, which I feel bad because she's very nice in real life, and it's just, I don't want to see bad things happen to her. Yeah, she does not overstay her welcome in this movie. She plays it perfectly. She doesn't overshine. She's just a highlight in this movie. Rather than being the best part of it, she's just a highlight. Now, this is a big one. Bridge to Terabithia. This is her most famous role, playing Leslie Burke. And this is the start of me becoming a fan of her, as you saw by the beginning clip. I absolutely love her role in this movie. This is obviously her best role. She was born to play this character. I'm going to explain why she was born to play this character in a moment, but talking about the film itself, she is a link that carries the entire movie, in the universe and out of the universe. If AnnaSophia Robb did not play Leslie, this movie would not work. Like, even in universe, without Leslie, then there'll be no movie. Like, she's the reason why this movie is really good. Not to say the other actors aren't good as well, but you can tell with Josh Hutcherson and all the other actors that they're acting. With AnnaSophia Robb, she's living, because she basically is the same in real life. Because I did watch interviews of her when I first watched the movie, just to see if she was similar to her character, and yeah, she's basically very similar. And this isn't just like at the time. No, I watched interviews from before Bridge to Terabithia, during, when they were promoting the movie, and even after, like decades later, she acts very similar to Leslie, and it's just very cool. Now, another reason why she's so good in this movie is actually a pretty wholesome reason, and that's because she and Josh Hutcherson were actually a thing. Yeah, I feel like a gossip channel talking about this, but basically, AnnaSophia Robb, in decades later, she was in a podcast, and she talked about how she had a major crush on Josh Hutcherson when she was young.
What was your first love like? I have to be honest. My first love was Josh Hutcherson from Bridge to Terabithia. I was 12, I think, and I was like fully in love with him. Obsessed.
Was it reciprocated, or did you just crush hard?
It was reciprocated.
Oh, God, how wonderful.
It was so fun. And that was the whole time we were filming. And so it was just like, I remember just, you just
being like vibrating with like, yeah.
Yes, 1,000%. And then fully heartbroken once the movie was over and like life returned and I went back to 7th grade,
Did you keep in touch?
We did keep in touch. We kept in touch. And then, of course, he gets a girlfriend and I'm just fully like, oh. And then we had press tours together and he was with somebody else and I was just devastated. Yeah. When I think back to that time, I was like, oh, you should have just like gotten a new crush or something. But I just couldn't get over it. I mean, it makes sense. We made a movie together, so we saw each other all day, every day.
So those are the two reasons why AnnaSophia Robb playing Leslie is the perfect casting choice. Like, this is the reason why she is perfect in this role. Now, that's not to say that her other roles in future movies that we're going to cover here are bad. No, the opposite. But I'm saying the reason why I'm saying that Leslie is her best character, her best performance, is because all the stars aligned to make it the best performance. So I want to deviate away from that and talk about her or more real life stuff that happened. I think very famously there is a song that is part of Bridge to Terabithia that AnnaSophia played and she sung, which you think, oh, that's pretty cool, but the only problem is that she can't sing. And that's something that she was very vocal about, but in a very unique way. So she put her foot down when it came to her whole singing career because she was basically forced to sing this song, Keep Your Mind Wide Open, and basically was forced to make a music video as well. And basically there is an interview. So now the original interview that I found this from doesn't exist anymore, which really sucks because I wanted to show that, but luckily there's another interview where she basically says the same thing, but the way she says it isn't in the way that I hoped, but because in the original clip she talked about how, or I guess the way that she spoke, she did not like it, but because she was promoting the movie, she couldn't really say that, oh, I don't like this, but you could tell in her voice and what she was saying that she was basically forced to do this, and that she does not want to do this.
And the song actually did well. It was on top 100 hit on Billboard. What was your...
I couldn't believe it. It was like number 32 or something. I was shocked. I started laughing because I mean, singing's great, but I really want to stick to acting. I love to act. And I started laughing so hard because I couldn't believe that my song was on the top 100.
And she further explained that you saw by the clip that she's never going to sing again. And that is true. She kept her word. Because once she sung that song, she never professionally sung again. She just focused on acting, which is, especially giving that response at that age, during that time, was really risky because she's a child actor at this time. She can't just say, no, I can't do this, but she put her foot down. Look, I know I covered Bridge to Terabithia for a long period of time here, more than the other roles, but basically, Bridge to Terabithia is the reason why I'm even making this video, why I adore AnnaSophia Robb as an actress, because I'm like a broken record. This is her best role. Honestly, watch the movie. It's one of the best movies I've seen in a really long time, and AnnaSophia Robb is the reason why the movie is special. So next up, we have Race to Witch Mountain, which came out in 2009, and she played Sarah. Basically, she's an alien, basically, and this is her most funniest role, because the reason why this is the most funniest role for her is because she does comedy differently than other actors. Instead of saying something that's funny, it's the way that she says something that is funny. Basically, throughout the first half of the movie, she's with Dwayne Johnson. And yes, Dwayne Johnson, he's a bad actor now, but this is before he became an egotistical dick. This is when he had hair, so he's cool back then. And so, basically, Dwayne Johnson's character is a taxi driver, and they're driving, and basically, she calls him by his full name, Jack Bruno, and you would think that would be annoying, but it's not really annoying, because as they get into these really crazy situations, she's just calmly saying his name and just, Jack Bruno, get us out of here. It's something that's, me saying it doesn't do justice. It's like watching it, it's like in the situation, in the context of the movie, it's funny. And eventually she stops saying that because as the movie goes on, Dwayne Johnson, their time with Dwayne Johnson, it makes him more human, which is funny in and of itself. But she's very well in this movie and a highlight of the movie. She's not the main character, but like I said, she's either the best part of a movie or she's a highlight of it. And this is just an example of her just being really good in this. And there's points in the movie where I'm like, this is Leslie, because I watched this after Bridge to Terabithia. So seeing her act like Leslie a little bit, or that inflection that she has, doing her sing, it's very cool. And the last movie that you may remember her from is Soul Surfer. And this is a very famous example, which this movie came out in 2011, but I want to first cover, basically, this movie is based off a true story. And she plays Bethany Hamilton, and you may remember her. If you grew up, when I grew up, the story of her was everywhere. Basically, if you don't know, she is a surfer who unfortunately had her arm bitten off by a shark. But that didn't stop her from surfing, and she kept surfing with one arm, which that story was very popular at the time in the 2000s, and her story was all over the news, and schools loved talking about that. And the reason I'm saying is because in 2011, AnnaSophia Robb played Bethany Hamilton, because I remember seeing this movie when it came out, and I did not know at all, which this was the biggest shock to me, and that's why I had to cover it. And most people do remember her from this role, which it is different from her other roles, because when I watched this, I was kind of disappointed, because she wasn't acting the way that I was hoping that she would be acting. But that's the point. She's not playing herself, or a personification of herself. She's not playing with Leslie Burke, Sarah, Violet. Those are different. Those are fictional characters. But with this, she's playing a real person. And so she hung out with the real Bethany Hamilton, and behind the scenes, and she learned her cadences. She learned how to surf. She put a lot of dedication into being her. And that's something that you see in the movie, and it's so awesome. The dedication is just awesome. And how can I forget, the biggest elephant in the room, she's acting with one arm. Now, they didn't cut off her arm. Thank God they didn't, but, she had to do this entire movie with one arm, which, is very difficult to do. Even though you forget that she has only one arm, AnnaSophia can't forget that because she can't just use her other arm to act. So, especially surfing, because the surfing is real. It's real surfing. I look behind the scenes, some of it's real, which is insane. She learned how to surf like Bethany, which is really difficult to do because she's a professional surfer. So like I said, there's a lot of dedication to the role, which is very unfortunate because I don't think people understand that. This is the reason why I want to make this video, because her work in her movies, I feel like no one talks about, because especially for this role and her dedication, because when people went to see Soul Surfers, they weren't watching it for AnnaSophia Robb, they were watching it because it's the real life story of Bethany Hamilton, which sucks because for AnnaSophia Robb, playing this character or this real life person and hanging out with her, it's probably a dream come true. She's very, in behind the scenes, she's very happy to hang out with her and surf with her, you know, but unfortunately I don't think a lot of people saw her talent and just saw her playing this character, or this real life person, and just went on with their day. Like, oh, this movie's great, it's very inspirational, that was it. Now, who's to say if Hollywood noticed that and tried to give her more roles, because as we're going to discuss later, or a little bit later, her roles featured on aren't what you expect. So now we covered her most memorable roles, according to what most people say on that. I want to go over her teenage life now, and we're going to be doing a little bit different here. We're not necessarily going to be talking about the way she's acting in these films and shows in particular, rather just quickly going over them, because I don't have all day here, and I can't really say much about it, because the way that she acts in these, you know, the rest of her career is very similar, and I don't want to repeat myself. But I do want to cover her more, I guess, a little bit of her personal life in this section of the video. The first, I want to start off with her being the main character as Carrie in the Carrie Diaries. Now, if you haven't heard of this show, it only lasted like a couple of years, and it's really a Sex and the City prequel where she plays the main character of Carrie. Now, I'm not familiar with Sex and the City, I don't care about it, but I looked at the trailer and she's pretty good in it. I would assume she's very well in it, but this is my opinion, because something I noticed when doing research for this particular show and interviews and stuff like that, so I noticed that there's actually hate comments. This is the first time I've seen hate comments about her. Really, like, AnnaSophia Robb, you know, up to this point, had no hate comments. Like, everyone said that they adored her, loved her, you know, found her wonderful, but now I'm seeing people saying that, no, she wrongly cast in this role, she's bad in this, so on and so forth. There are also people that were just commenting in general about her, where she's too old. I mean, she's only a teenager at this point, but yeah, she's too old. That's what people were saying back then, which is crazy, but you know, that's what people were saying. So I don't think it affected her at all, which is good. The next film here I want to highlight is Jack of the Red Hearts. Now, this is a movie where AnnaSophia Robb plays a criminal who cons her way into caring for an autistic child. Now, you would think that this role, or I guess this movie, would be wholesome, but it kind of isn't, but at the same time it is. I'm not going to spoil why, since there are decisions in this movie with the characters I don't particularly like, but because I did see this movie fully. But when it comes to AnnaSophia Robb's performance in this, it's pretty good. Like I said, I can't, it's just going to be repeating myself. That's why I don't want to, like, cover her performance in everything, because she's doing her thing, she's really great in it, and that's basically, I can't repeat myself here. The final movie I want to cover here is Down a Dark Hall, and this movie came out in 2018, and it's a horror / thriller, I guess young adult thing. I haven't seen it, I haven't heard of this, but from what I've seen from the trailer, she's pretty good in it. Now, the reason I'm covering these three movies in particular, or I guess one of them's a show, and not every single thing, is because, like I said, I'm not here to cover every little thing, but rather covering these three projects, because during these years, you know, the Carrie Diaries came out in 2013, 2014, Jack the Red Hearts came out in 2015, then Down a Dark Hall came out in 2018. This was all happening while AnnaSophia Robb was going to school. She graduated public school, like she went to high school, a public high school, and graduated in 2012. And then she went to college. Yeah, she went to college while acting and doing all these interviews. She went to NYU for 4 years and graduated in 2018, which is really interesting. And you may ask, what did she study for? Because on Google, I saw it. Because on Google it said, like, she's a fashion model. So, like, okay, maybe she studied fashion. No. She studied the intersection of philosophy, ethics, and drama. Whatever that means. But she did it. And graduated with a diploma for that. Which, good for her, because during, like I said, all the times that she's been in these movies, shows, like I said, she's been in, like, more than just what I'm covering here, like, during this time, but she's, at the same time, going to school and graduating and getting a full education, because most child actors don't get a full education, because why would they? They're already acting big time. Why do they need a full education? But for AnnaSophia Robb, that's not enough. She wanted a full education. So for the final part of this video, I wanted to sort of cover her more recent roles. I mean recent roles, I mean like roles in 2020. What was AnnaSophia Robb doing in the 2020s, like the last couple of years? Well, I know exactly, because, it's kind of easy to track. So the first movie that she was in the 2020s was a movie called Words on the Bathroom Wall. And this movie, what she's cast in, is kind of weird, but at the same time perfect. So this movie's about a teenager who gets diagnosed with schizophrenia, but it's also a romance story. Now you think that, is she playing the romantic interest? No. Because the main character has schizophrenia, he's imagining these fake people, or what I think is fake people. I haven't seen the movie, but from what I've seen from the trailers and clips online, he's imagining these fake people or personas, and one of them is AnnaSophia Robb, which you would think that she'd be playing the love interest, but no, that's not good enough for her. She wants to play the imaginary side character, which is the first time in a long time where she's actually playing a side character. So Down the Dark Hall, which came out in 2018, is the last time she starred in a movie. And the reason I'm covering this movie, The Words on Bathroom Walls, because this is the last movie in the most recent movie that she has been in, which is why I'm covering it. And she's playing a side character. She's not the main interest, but similar to her role in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, she doesn't overstay her welcome. She's pretty much there as a supporting character. She's in that support role. It reminds me a lot of her, stuff when she was child actor, which is really cool. I like how AnnaSophia Robb doesn't really change her acting style, because she works very well as a main character and a side character, and that is true for this. So, just to clarify, 2021 is the last big year for AnnaSophia Robb. First up here we have Dr. Death, which was a Peacock original series that streamed in July of 2021, and she played Michelle Sugart. And basically this is a true story of a doctor who basically killed people in the hospital room, which is a horrible thing, but she plays a lawyer that prosecuted the doctor that is nicknamed Dr. Death. But she doesn't appear in every episode, just I believe 5 episodes I saw. So she worked with Alec Baldwin, which is pretty cool that she was able to do that before the thing happened. So at least you can say that she worked with Alec Baldwin. Next up we have a interesting choice. So technically Dr. Death is the last mainstream Hollywood thing, because the next 2 things that we're covering here aren't necessarily mainstream. What we're first covering here is a horror short from YouTube, or I guess from a smaller company, and it's called Good Night Darling. This released in May of 2021, and it isn't her best work, but I don't blame her for that, because honestly, it didn't really have much to do in it, because it's only 5 minutes long, and it's not that scary. Like, I've seen these type of horror shorts on YouTube by these smaller companies and these independent companies, and which are way scarier in the same amount of time. But it's still a creepy thing to watch, and I do recommend you watch it. But she is the best part of it. I mean, duh, no kidding. It's just a consistent thing. But there really isn't much to say. It's just her talking for 5 minutes, just a bunch of conversations. But she's well in it. I mean, like I said, not her best work, but she can't really do much in it. It's only 5 minutes, and there's no real action in it. So the last main thing I really want to cover here in terms of her career is she appeared. This is gonna be really random. She appeared in Ed Sheeran music video. Yeah, Shivers. And it's crazy because the music video has over 300 million views, and she does pretty well in it. I mean, she doesn't speak in it, but she uses her other talent, which I sort of ignored. Well, not really ignored, but she's really good at face acting, where she has such a range of emotions, which is why I just like her as an actress, and why myself and so many people just like watching her in movies, because she has a really good range of facial emotions, and she just have a really good time hanging out with Ed Sheeran and dancing and whatever the music video is supposed to be. In terms of the music video itself, I can't really comment on the music video itself. I guess it's a good song. I guess it's kind of annoying to hear it everywhere, but when it comes to AnnaSophia acting in this, good job. That's the only reason why we watching the music video, and I'm not the only one with that, because a lot of people recognized her in the music video, which is really cool that she's still recognized to this day. So you may be asking, why isn't she in any more roles after 2021? What exactly happened? Well, I can explain that. So, in 2022, she got married, which is really great. Good for her. In 2023, the actors' strike happened, which, of course, AnnaSophia would be on the picket lines. Of course she would be. I'll be surprised if she wasn't. So it does explain why she hasn't been acting or been in any roles in the last couple of years, because she was in literally picket line, probably just didn't accept any calls. So that leaves us now in the year of 2024. What is AnnaSophia Robb doing in the year of 2024? Well, there is some news. So in April, she was announced to be the main character in a TV movie, I believe. I could be wrong in that. That could change, obviously, because in early production. And the movie is called, let me see here, Grosse Ponte Garden Society. I don't know what that is. I never heard of it. I'll probably never seen the advertisements on it. So as of June of this year, she appeared at the Tribeca Film Festival. There's a lot of images of her at the festival, which she looks good. And what I like is that she's rocking the haircut that made her ever so famous all those years ago. And that's where we're gonna end it. I lied. I'm gonna be doing a monologue talking about AnnaSophia Robb and her career, because she likes to wrap the video around from the very beginning. The reason why I wanted to make this video, because I've been contemplating if I should make this or not, and I'm glad I actually made this video, because from what I discovered and what I've done my research on, AnnaSophia Robb is a really underrated actress who deserves some recognition, because most people just look at 1-2 movies that she's in and just say, oh, she's really good, but no one's really taking the time to really analyze her entire career, like the way I'm doing, and see if she is a good actress and see if consistently she's been in good movies. And yeah, she's most likely in a lot of good movies. And I say it because I haven't seen her entire filmography, but from what I can tell, she's either the best part of the movie or she's a highlight, because another thing I want to cover here is that AnnaSophia Robb is the most traditional actress you can get, because back in the day, before Hollywood became just a franchise and remakes and sequel factory machine, Hollywood used to be original movies, like what AnnaSophia Robb plays in, whether it be Bridge to Terabithia, Charlie and Chocolate Factory, The Carrie Diaries, like these original projects that, you can say are part of franchises, but they're just mainly retellings of stories. Those are original projects that are only one thing and that's it. She's not playing the same character over and over again. And that's what Hollywood used to be back in the day. Actors used to play one character and play that character one time. AnnaSophia Robb stuck to that original movie format that she started when she was a child. It's like she has a checklist of every different genre of film, because along with being in these original films, they're all completely different roles from one another. Like I said, it's like she has a checklist of every different genre that she wants to play. It's like all these roles are completely different from one another, and it's just so cool to see that. Like, she stuck to her passion and didn't go down the franchise rabbit hole. It's very clear that she didn't want to do that, maybe because she was going to college and high school at the time in the 2010s, maybe that's why. And I mean, even now, she could just easily go into the MCU or Harry Potter or whatever remake or sequel that Disney's doing, but no, she's sticking to this format. Even nowadays, all of her upcoming movies and shows that she's being starred in are completely original. Like, I've never heard most of these projects, and I'm probably not going to see marketing for it, really, but she's in it, and she's probably going to be really great in it. One last thing before I go is I want to talk about AnnaSophia herself, because throughout this entire time, the one thing that I kept the passion for this video is her. Like, in real life, she seems like such a fun, loving, caring person. When looking at all the podcast interviews throughout her entire life, I noticed that the more older she gets, the more just experienced she is. Like, in the 2021 interview, which I believe is her latest interview, I think, she's very intelligent and passionate, and like, you can tell that she just experienced life. Not just being in a bunch of movies, no, like real life. And that's something that most actors don't have. She's very humbled, but humbled in a way that isn't like, oh, I'm just living my life. No, she's still an actress and still a celebrity and going to these fancy events, but still very humble. Like, she knows that she's just a regular person, but, she's also a celebrity. She's like the real-life Spider-Man, in a way, which I respect. Yeah, I'm a fan of her, and I will be. Whatever movie she's in next, maybe I'll check it out if it's available on Disney Plus or it's free on YouTube, because that's how I watch most of her movies. I'm surprised how many of her movies are just free on YouTube, not edited or warped in any way, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I'm ranting at this point. I'm going to end it here. AnnaSophia Robb is a good actress, and hopefully I've been saying her name correctly, because I swear if I've been saying AnnaSophia, that's going to be annoying. I'm sorry, that's very hypocritical, but hopefully I'm saying AnnaSophia. Guys, her name's confusing, but I'm going to end it here. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to go now, so goodbye, everyone.
What am I looking for exactly?
You'll see. Just close your eyes, but keep your mind wide open.